there's so much confusion, and I've seen tons of shaman players, like even in my guild, that are like, yeah, I'm trying this for the first time. I'm running a shield, and it's like if they had a general resource, even the guides on
Share my video.
but even the guides on what is it, the Wowhead or
Wowhead.
whatever, those are not accurate by any stretch. I would make it, here's how shaman tanking actually works. Dead serious. And I
Well,
would
that's
imagine
great
that
because
that's
all this is recorded, and you definitely just helped me out a lot with ideas for, getting another video together.
at the beginning, there's like nothing very clear. The only thing that's very clear in the beginning is run with a shield and run with these 3 runes that seem like they would be tanking runes. So I basically have 7 25s, but I'm like, I can't get my finger on the pulse of the shaman and how it's working. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's so wonky. I'm not
Well,
saying it's bad. It's just
no, and see, that's
hard to figure out.
the problem right now is everyone thinks shamans do low damage, but that's because there's very few that actually know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, it seems that way. It really does seem that way. So, okay, so that's good. And then so I still have the taunt. When you do flame shock, are you down ranking any of your shocks or no?
Honestly, in my head, I think my best advice for people starting off on Shaman is, yeah, just use rank 1 until you're left over with mana at the end. And then that's when you want to start using rank 2 instead of rank 1. But I do max rank and I run out of mana, which, maybe if I use rank 1, maybe I could parse a little bit better sometimes, but at that point, I'm really not that picky. I like to PvP. 160 days played, vanilla TBC Wrath.
That's cool. That's cool. So I actually have the Crashing Thunder, which I know it's not the best, but I have that, the 1.4 fist weapon. And then I just bought on the main hand.
So,
and then I just bought the Axe of the Enforcer.
Yeah, that's they're getting cheaper, which is why I'm running 2. If you're orc, which you are, I would get 2 of them if you can afford it, and just
2 Axe of the Enforcer.
The slow ones. Yeah, like the only reason why you want a fast weapon is to be able to auto attack and gain aggro on trash mobs. Once you get Windfury, you want slow weapons because you're gonna get the biggest Windfuries, and you won't be able to tank with Windfury. So a lot of shaman are gonna have to, am I still a tank or am I gonna go DPS, because you're gonna use Rockbiter if you're a tank on both your weapons, because the attack power bonus is so big. If you use Rockbiter and Windfury, they're about the same DPS over a long period of time.
Wow.
Just solo questing is what that's kind of based off of. So
mainly downrank the shocks. Stick with the Lava Lash. Don't go with like a water shield, and don't use the Molten Blast really unless you're on like Jorgus Jet or something like that for those Murlocs.
Yes, I have been using Molten Blast on that one boss, for the Murlocs, because I think it goes into your parse. So, and that's another thing, is like you have to look at the logs and see what they include and don't include. And if it's a single target boss, you're gonna Lava Lash. If like nothing else is included in the parse, like the last boss, when I cleanse and the ads spawn, running Molten Blast on that fight feels really bad. So
you just Lava Lash.
I Lava Lash, and a warrior needs to AoE taunt and or whatever, AoE and aggro all the little ads and retaliate, and then you heavy dynamite.
How big is the
Fire Nova
engineering
on that fight specifically? Is a lot. And
you just crank out those bombs when they're off cooldown?
Oh, it's free damage. Yeah, if it's a 30-minute run and it's a 1-minute cooldown, that's 30 heavy dynamite,
that's
but
true.
you're not going to use that. You need a. I've been bringing like 20 to 30 with me though. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. So you would say in order, to,
You,
especially for like trash aggro and stuff like that, the dynamite stuff, or you
the
save that just for
dynamite.
the bosses?
Yeah, heavy dynamite
Um,
is huge. I mean, especially because we don't have very many abilities that actually like do, especially AOE. Like besides Fire Nova, it's
mhm.
really. I mean, Molten Blast is really good, but not for parsing on a single target boss.
So single
So
target threat for sure is just lava lash, and you got your taunt. And now, when you do you save the earth shock for trying to pull back aggro, or are you constantly earth shocking like off cooldown for the damage and for the extra threat?
both. Yeah, both.
Okay.
That's
So, but
situational.
you do basically cast it in the fights. You're not like holding on to it the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
like
good to know.
so when I pull like 4 to 5 mobs, I'll go and tab target and I do just
Hmm.
like I'll auto attack the first one, lava lash the second one, and or maybe like flame shock the first one, auto attack the next, lava lash a third one, and
Hmm.
then probably earth shock the fourth, and then my flame shock's coming back off cooldown, and you know
Yep.
so and
And
then
you use Fire
fire
Nova on the
nova.
trash?
You know, I could get better. I could use my parses would probably be way better if I used my Fire Nova a little bit better and
Hmm.
actually like thought about it. I just kind of think about it and slap it down whenever. I'm not.
Hmm.
I I would love to be rank 1 tanking shaman, but I definitely don't nitpick myself. I joined up an LFG pug group and a hunter pulled almost all the bosses early
Oh shit.
and fucked up a lot of our like he definitely. I mean, I got 2 really good numbers. The first and the last boss were pretty good, but all
Hmm.
the other bosses in between, the hunter pulled early, and yeah, I could have done way better in that raid, but it was a pug group, so
And in that trash, you're throwing the bombs too and stuff like that. Because I
yeah.
don't have the bombs right now, so I feel like that's kind of hurting me a lot on the threat.
On initial threat, yeah, that's it's not a lot of threat, and I think I've noticed like if I don't have Way of Earth on and I'm running Chamois Rage, it's not as much threat as if I have Way of Earth. I haven't really looked at the exact number, but like
Hmm.
heavy dynamite, and if I've been using Chamois Rage on the trash, but I'm really squishy, so your healers just gotta be good. If your
Yeah.
healers are not able to keep you up, then you probably have to slow
Gotta use
down
your
a little
shield.
bit. But right,
Okay.
I'm pulling like 10 to 20 mobs at a time.
You're going fast. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But if
because
you were slower, like, would you?
I'm not gonna waste the heavy dynamite on 5 mobs.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. If I pull 5 mobs, I'm saving my dynamite. If I
I
pull
understand.
20
Yeah, you're just
mobs,
wasting.
I'm slapping that dynamite down because it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I have a little better understanding of it. The that lava lash, hard hitting lava lash is kind of interesting. The slow offhand.
Yeah, well, if you read
Cool.
it, it does without flame. Don't worry about the flame tongue part. That's there to trick you, okay? Like
Hmm.
the whole flame tongue thing. The amount
Yeah.
of attack power you get from Rockbiter that goes to both your weapons is way better than running flame tongue plus an extra whatever percent it is on there. Uh
Right.
Yeah, because Lava Lash does, yeah, it does melee damage. So fire, it looks like it does fire damage, but it doesn't. It's actually melee damage. They're probably really close to each other in DPS, but you'll have way more threat running double Rockbiter.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. For your totems, Are you ever throwing down Searing Totem, or you only use
Yeah.
your Fire Nova Totem?
I would you use your Searing Totem and then work in the Fire Nova, but then you gotta drop the Searing Totem afterwards.
I
Yeah,
see, I see.
Searing
Okay.
Totem's good. It's free DPS just like Heavy Dynamite. And I'm improved Strength of Earth, which I have no idea if anybody else is running that. Yeah, there's not any Shaman content out there, and I would love to be
I know, it's
the
amazing.
new face of it. I mean, I used to watch Sea-Doo, and he's not helping us out no more, so
Well, when you do, I mean, that video is pretty good. There's so much stuff happening so quickly. For example, I feel like some of the most relevant things to a new Shaman player is like, do you use Rockbiter or Flank Tongue on your weapons? Do you want a fast or a slow offhand, main hand? Like, and what runes are you gonna run? You know, primarily, and then how to generate threat and keep threat, and if that engineering stuff is important. You know, it's kind of like once you start to get the total sense of how it flows, then you can like start to play with it a little bit. But at the beginning, there's like nothing very clear. The only thing that's very clear in the beginning is run with a shield and run with these three runes that seem like they would be tanking runes. So it's like, but that's not really how it works. Here's how it works. I feel like that would be good
well,
content.
warriors aren't really supposed to dual wield tank, right?
Right, that's true.
A warrior needs to go defensive stance and put a shield on. It's basically all I think about, right? And like, if they need a shield, then I probably need a shield if they're in D stance and like still taking a lot of hits. I also put a lot of faith in my healers. Some of my runs, I get pretty fucking low, and like I like to talk to the healers and like, you know, my dungeons they get something to do because I take a little more damage than someone using a shield. You know, you're not gonna have as much HP, but the Shimmy Rage is a 20% damage reduction, so I think people kind of overlook that. Yeah, I'm using Rockbiter on both, and one of my Shaman, I'm using a dagger as my main hand, and on Oprawindfury, which has all my best in slot gear, I'm using the double axes. Now the issue is finding the perfect comp to do a parsing run for me, because it's gonna be different for every class, kinda, and every boss at like really getting like number one Shaman, I would probably only get like 1 or 2 parses per raid. And then I would probably have to switch up the comp to get like a certain boss parse.
For sure, dude. Thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Hopefully,
Be good, dude.
I'll get a video and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's me."